Hello teacher and hello everyone. I am from Group 7 and my group members are Kitnai, Vong and me Molika. We are going to present about chapter 26, Managing Risk. Here is our content of our presentation. First is introduction and understanding risk. Second, meeting the risk challenge. Third, incidents and impact approach. And the last one is conclusion. Now let's talk about the introduction. As we know, being alive means we involved in a number of risks. And when we engage in people work, we involve in a number of risk factors. We have to be aware of the risk that we are involved to ourselves and to the people we work with. In this chapter, we will explore some significant factors that involve in risk, and we will look at what needs to be taken into consideration in managing the risk associated with dealing people and their problems. Next point is talking about understanding risk. In our daily life, involve taking risk, even doing something as simple as entering the building, crossing the road, eating food, or even taking a shower. An important point to recognize is that making a decision about risk is not simply a matter of determining whether to take or not to take a particular risk. It's more complicated as it involves balancing risk. Deciding upon one course of the action instead of another involves avoiding one set of the risk and accepting another. We have to be careful not to fall into a trap of equating risk management and risk avoidance or risk elimination. However, different courses of action will have different sets of consequences, but at the time of deciding, we do not know what those consequences will be. This involves making a risk assessment, which is weighing up the possible negative outcome against the possible positive one. But we have to keep in mind that which are more likely to occur in the circumstance. Next point is talking about meeting the risk challenge. There are few guarantees in this life and so many factors that can introduce danger into our lives. The challenge is one of the managing risk, that is finding ways of handling the risk issue we encounter to maximize the positive and to minimize the negative. For further detail on this point, let's meet our next presenter. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, teacher. My name is Kitnai, and I'm going to continue from Molika's part. So, there is a term called ontological security. The feeling that we are reasonably safe in terms of our identity, our place in the world, and in the wider society. It refers to our ability to deal with the insecurities of human existence. As we know that life is full of risk and uncertainty, so trying to create a complete security is impossible. A wiser approach is to try to establish confidence in our ability to manage the risk factors that we encounter as we go on with our life. And having sense of security in this case comes from our ability to manage the risk, to deal with the life's insecurities rather than naively trying to establish a set of no risk circumstances. And another important point to consider is that anxiety and insecurities associated with risk can make people develop risk paranoia. It is a phenomenon that can be oppressive and disempowering. Some people become too concerned about risk that they adopt a rigid approach to any risk factors. The technical term for this is being risk averse, that is, reluctant to take risks, even though the result of taking such risk can bring us positive benefits, and avoid taking risks could ironically make the situation worse. Risk paranoia is in part based on a failure to recognize the positive, life-affirming, and enhancing aspects of risk. For example, playing sports. Some people might think that playing sport can have a lot of risk, like risk of injuring oneself or others, risk of disappointment, embarrassment, or even humiliation. However, if you took the risk and you play the sport, there would be also positive sides of this risk, like you would become stronger, healthier, or maybe you can even become a professional player in any kind of sports. And that is the positive benefits of taking risks. And furthermore, risks also have positive benefit of bringing people together in a spirit of shared endeavor. Like for example, the previous one, playing sport, participating in a sport event, it can be a significant source of friendship and thus of positive feelings of support and group identity. Risk then is clearly a basic part of human experience. It can bring us pain and suffering, but it can also bring us many positive benefits. Therefore, when we simply trying to remove risk, it is both unreasonable, unrealistic, and potentially oppressive. So, what is needed is an approach that aims to manage risk rather than seeking to eliminate it. And as for the managing this part, Wong will present about it. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Fung and I'm the last presenter for this chapter. And now we're going to talk about the incidence and impact approach. And before I explain it to you, I want you to see the key terms first. So we have two key terms. The first one is the word incidence and the second one is the word impact. So the word incident is used to refer to how likely it is for the risk to produce a negative outcome. And for the word impact, it means how serious that negative outcome is gonna be. So moving on to the next slide, we have the model. As you can see in the picture, this is the model of the incidence and impact approach. And it is made out of two simple lines, one vertical line and one horizontal line. The vertical line has the words high incidence and low incidence, and the horizontal one has the words low impact and high impact. So basically, this model can be used to help you to locate and to plot your situation, to locate your situation in order to know the level of priority of the risks so that we can know whether it is something that we should consider tackling first. And because of that, it also allows us to quickly respond to the situation when we need to. So there are four possible types of situation according to this model. And the first one, as you can see on your left hand, it is the one with high incidence with low impact. So a situation where it has high incidence with low impacts, it means that the danger that you fear will definitely happen because the incidence is so high, it's gonna happen. But even though it happens, the impact of it is really low. It's not anything that is too serious. That is why we call it high incidence with low impact. For something like this, what you can do is that you can think of ways to reduce the level of the incidence. Yes, that is it for the first one. The second one is the one with high incidence with high impact. This one is also considered to be the one, the most dangerous one. The reason is that the incident is really high. It means that the danger that you fear will definitely happen. And in contrast to the last one, this one is also really impactful. The impact is really high. It means that that danger is going to be really serious. It's going to be really damaging. That is why we call it danger zone. With this one, you should think of ways to reduce both the incidence and the impact of it. Moving on to the next one, we have the one with low incidence with low impact. This one, it means that because the incident is so low, it means that the danger that you fear actually may not happen. And even if it happens, it's not anything serious. It's not anything that you should worry too much about. It's not anything dangerous. Yes, that is why we call it low incidence with low impact. For something like that, even though you shouldn't worry too much about it, it doesn't mean that you should just let it go and not care about it. But yes, just don't worry too much about it. And the last situation that we have is low incidence with high impact. This one is the most difficult and the most trickiest to deal with. The reason is that the incidence is really low. So the danger that you fear is most likely not gonna happen. It might not happen. However, if it does happen, the danger is gonna be something that is really damaging, really serious. That is why it is really hard to deal with. Yes, that is all. And what you should keep in mind is that this model that I'm showing you only helps you to see the overview of the situation. But you should keep in mind that, danger risk factors can always change, and they can also change quickly as well. And because of that, you should always notice the difference or new things that occur, and also keep the consequences under your control and careful review so that we can take action accordingly if we need to. And the last point is that you should keep in mind that people with mental illnesses may have difficulties in making decisions. Some people, they have they have illnesses that affect their capacity to think, so you should consider that. And therefore, those people, they might need professional help. So we have come to the conclusion, and we can say that risk always finds its way into about anything that we do in life. And dealing with it can be really challenging, but at the same time, it can also be rewarding. And a person who is a skilled people worker is somebody who does not underestimate the significance of the risk, but at the same time, they do not become paranoid by it. And now we have come to the end of the presentation. We would like to say thank you for your attention. And yes, that is all. Thank you so much.